Hi guys, this is CatalanBEN from CatalanSoccer.com, and today we're going to take you through the best ways to coach your kids how to press. In this video we're going to take you through individual roles, what is expected of pressing players, and how to time that pressure to make sure it's most effective. Individual roles. Now it's really important for kids to understand who applies pressure to which person on the opponent's team. So let's go into that now. First of all, your strikers. Imagine you've got a team that's taking a goal kick and you are trying to press and win the ball back from them. The first job is for strikers to go and press the ball as high up the pitch as possible. That's called engaging the press. Now it's important that kids understand that the first man in the press is not expected to go win the ball. What he is expected to do is try and force the play and make it more predictable. But make sure that kids understand if they are going to press the ball as a striker and they don't win it, they can still be doing a great job. Now the role of the midfielder is to back up the striker and try to intercept passes or win the ball back based on where the play has been forced. If a striker tries to get the ball to be forced wide, then those midfielders are going to win it in that wide area and hopefully start a counter-attack. Now the role of the defenders is to be a cover if the midfield is bypassed. So often when you go to start the press, the ball will be played beyond you from a long pass or from a quick passing play through the middle. If that happens, your defensive players are then there as a backup to go win the ball as a second line of defence. Now the expectations for pressing players. This is really important because a lot of kids do not understand exactly what they're trying to do when they press the ball. Now the first part of applying pressure is to try and force mistakes. So although your players may not actually get a touch on the ball, if they put them under severe pressure and do it quickly, they can force mistakes through misplaced passes, through bad touches, or maybe even kicking the ball out of play. The second job for a player that's trying to press the ball, or a team that's trying to press the ball, is to force the play into more predictable areas. By making the other team play more predictably, this can help you win the ball back and make it much easier to get men around the ball. For example, if your striker is going to press a centre-back, instead of running straight at the ball and straight at the man, he can curve his run to cut off the pass to his opposite centre-back. That will force the play down the right-hand side, and that right-hand side is then easier for the other kids to try and press and win the ball back as a unit. The final part to applying pressure is to ultimately win the ball. But if we are forcing the play and we are making the play more predictable, we are giving ourselves a much better chance to actually win the ball back. Now the next stage of pressing the ball is timing the pressure and making sure that we get the right players doing their right jobs at the right time. Now we need to go through all three phases to the press. So the first phase is to force play. This is usually the players that are highest up the pitch, often a striker, that are going to go and press the ball and try and force play to be more predictable. In this example, we'll use a striker going to press the ball between two centre-backs. That's going to force the play down the left-hand side of the pitch. When the ball is forced down the left, this allows the midfielders that are backing him up and trying to help win the ball start the second phase. The second phase being engaging the ball. Now this second phase of engaging the ball, it's really important that we arrive at the right time and we get there quickly. We want to try and press the first touch of those players, and when the ball's being received, we don't want them to have too much space and too much time to pick their next pass. Final phase comes in if your press has been unsuccessful. If the other team have done a really good job and played through your press, or they've taken a shortcut and played over your press, then back up and cover is really important. This final phase comes from defensive players who are there as that second line of defence to make sure that if our press has been unsuccessful, we are not then exposed and the ball can't go in behind us too easily. So when the ball goes further forward towards the opponent's strikers, that's where defenders and defensive midfielders are stepping in to try and win the ball as well. Now timing and distance are really important as part of our press. If our pressing players take up a position too close and mark really tight to a man that's not yet got the ball, it can be dangerous. The ball could go in behind them and they can lose the race in behind, especially if that opposing player is faster than them. The other danger that we have is if our press is too loose, and if we mark players where we give them, say for instance, 10 yards between you and the ball, by the time the ball gets to him, he's going to take a touch, get his head up and pick his next pass. Then you will arrive at the ball, and that is too late and too slow. The optimum distance is usually 4 or 5 strides. If this ball now travels in to that player, you are close enough to make sure you can get to the ball by the time he takes his first touch. But you are far away enough and you've got a big enough head start if it turns into a race and that same player tries to run in behind you. Now the next part we're going to look at is who to pressure and how to press players in certain areas. A lot of kids and a lot of coaches think that pressing the ball is simply running at the ball as fast as you can. There's actually a lot more detail, so we need to break it down now to make sure we know how to press and who to press in what ways. The goalkeeper. Now, pressing the opponent's goalkeeper can be very risky and often give you very little reward. I would only recommend actually pressing the goalkeeper if you know that the goalkeeper is under pressure, has taken a bad touch, and you've got a high likelihood of actually winning the ball from him. If the keeper has the ball under good control and has a lot of space and time, I would not recommend trying to press the keeper. All that will happen is the ball will get played beyond you and you will end up out of the game. When pressing defenders, what we do here is called a passive press. It's not a press where we really try and go and engage the ball high up the pitch. What we are trying to do is force that defender to play the ball into a certain area, or to make sure that when the defender has the ball, they have a reduced number of passing options. So we're trying to cut out passing lines and make sure that the defender can't easily play forward to a midfielder. Midfielders. Now, midfielders should apply intense pressure. This is high pressure to win the ball back quickly and make sure that we get as many numbers around the ball as possible to make sure that we win the ball before it gets into the final third. Once the ball's in that final third, that's when we're really in trouble. So the intense pressure from the midfielders is very important. Try and make sure that the kids you are putting in that midfield area are high energy and got intensity to their game to make sure they can win it back. Now, defenders. How do defenders apply pressure to the ball? Everybody knows about the Virgil van Dijk stat about not getting dribble past for so many games in a row, and that was incredible. But at the same time, it's because he knows how to apply cautious pressure, and that's really important for defenders to understand at a young age. Now, cautious pressure comes in loads of different ways, but it's very important kids understand this. First of all, do not press the ball if you are outnumbered. Try and delay and slow down the attack. Now, as a defender, if you find yourself in a 1v1 situation and you aren't outnumbered, that's when we can apply that intense pressure and try and win the ball back quickly. Tactics and demos. Go through on a tactics board each player's individual role and how you want them to press. Start with something really simple like an opposition goal kick. At an opposition goal kick, we know where our players are going to be, where their players are going to be, and that gives you a really solid foundation to start teaching a pressing position from. Walk through each player's roles and play out a few role plays to make sure every player understands their job as part of their press. Remember, although everybody has individual responsibilities, this is a team press, so we have to do all our jobs together. Gameplay. Now, play out a normal match, but during that game, anytime that the ball goes out of play, say for instance for a goal kick, then you activate that press. The reality is that during the game, kids are going to get lost, they're going to get into different positions, and that pressing nature that they've tried to give a structure to is going to fall apart. That's going to happen as the ball moves, but once the ball goes out, that's a great time to reset and get our press set from the beginning and go again. Thanks for watching this video, guys. We hope you found it really useful, and if you'd like to see any more information on pressing in more detail, please give us a shout out in the comments below. We'd love to make another video for you guys and help you on your coaching journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and as always, I'll see you soon.